Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the all-new 2024 Toyota Tacoma and the fact that we are finally getting a redesign the first time since 2016, which I guess is not that long because Toyota usually takes a lot longer than less than a decade to redesign a truck, Tundra. But anyways, with that being said, in the first part of the video we're going to go over the information we know so far. Then we're going to get into a little bit of speculation, and then we're going to sum things up with whether or not you should wait for the new Tacoma, and then kind of my personal thoughts on the truck. With all that being said, let's get into the video. So let's talk about the information we know so far on the new Tacoma, and that's not a whole lot, sadly, but let's get into it. So first off, it's most likely going to be a 2024 model year. Now, the reason being is the Tacoma is kind of like one of the newest Toyota trucks, right? The Land Cruiser just recently got redesigned overseas, sadly not here for the US market, and then we're most likely going to get a new Tundra for 2022, and then a Sequoia for 2022 as well, and then the 4Runner most likely for 2023. And all three of those vehicles are a lot older than the Tacoma, and so the Tacoma most likely 2024, but we'll see. Now, aside from that, it's most likely also going to be on a new platform. We have the new platform that the new Land Cruiser is on, and that platform is most likely going to be shared with the new Tundra, Sequoia, Tacoma, and then so 4Runner as well. Sorry, almost forgot about the 4Runner. But yeah, most likely going to be on that platform. And then the other bit of kind of confirmed information is the new Tacoma is most likely going to have a hybrid powertrain, or a hybrid powertrain as an option, because Toyota said that they're trying to electrify everything across their lineup by 2025, or at least have some level of that, right? And so if the Tacoma comes out for 2024, they're probably going to just want to have it already done, so they don't have to do an extra thing, right, for 2025. So most likely it'll have a hybrid variant, or it'll just come out with a hybrid powertrain for all of the powertrain options. We'll see what happens. But yes, other than that, that is pretty much on the confirmed information side of things. Now let's get into the speculation territory, which some people love it, some people hate it, but let's go with it. So first off, from a styling perspective, obviously Toyota usually keeps things pretty subdued, but we have seen the new styling on the Tundra, and so I think that they're going to kind of transfer that somewhat over to the Tacoma, right? They're going to kind of have their like corporate design language. So judging by the styling on the Tundra, obviously that's a much bigger truck, but we can take that styling and kind of shrink it down, and they'll probably have something like that with the Tacoma, and maybe mix that a little bit with the current Tacoma, so it's kind of like, I guess, like in between. But that's most likely what it's going to be from a styling perspective. Interior wise, expect it to get a bunch of similar updates to like what the Tundra is getting. So like the bigger infotainment system, nicer gauge cluster, nicer materials with the door panel dash, all that stuff in the seats and everything. And so expect them to kind of just slightly bring things up, but it's probably not going to be as nice as the Tundra because this is a less expensive vehicle, right? The Tacoma is in that mid-sized truck segment where price is very important, so I don't think they'll make things too crazy because typically mid-sized trucks are just not as nice interior-wise as full-size trucks. So again, that's what they'll most likely do with the interior. Now, from a trim package perspective, Toyota's probably going to keep things the same. Again, they are pretty conservative with a lot of things, so we'll still have the TRDs and the TRD Pros and the Limiteds and the SR5 and all that other stuff. So I don't think that the trim packages will change all that much, and I don't think like the ethos of the trim packages will change all that much either. We'll still have like a base model truck, we'll have a truck that has a nicer interior, and then we'll have a truck that has crazy off-road capability, right? And then you'll have a truck that has a nice interior and crazy off-road capability, aka the TRD Pro. So again, I think that that stuff is all pretty much going to stay the same, and it's pretty safe to say. Now, from a towing and payload capacity perspective, again, Toyota usually doesn't go crazy, and the mid-sized truck segment hasn't changed all that much with that stuff. So expect towing and payload capacities to stay relatively the same. They might increase slightly, but I don't think that they're going to increase all that much. Nobody's really doing anything too crazy with the mid-sized truck segment from that perspective. Now, moving from that to what I'm most excited about is the suspension. So the new Tundra is adopting coil suspension in the back end, and the current Tacoma has leaf springs. Well, I think that they're going to do the same thing with the new Tacoma. They're going to go for the coil suspension in the back end, which obviously has its benefits and its downsides, right? It rides a lot smoother, but you've got to put a lot more effort into that system to make it so it has a really good payload capacity, comparable to something with leaf springs. But it's a mid-sized truck, so it's not going to be as hard to work around like what they have to do with like a half-ton truck or a heavy duty when they put coil suspension, like what Ram has had to do with those systems. So yeah, expect that. So ride quality should improve quite a bit, and then obviously that'll help out with the TRDs and the TRD off-road, and there's like so many different TRD packages, it's ridiculous, and the TRD Pro as well, because 5-link coil, or just coil suspension, sorry, rather, in general does so much better off-road. It soaks things up, the back end stays nice and planted. Because of that, you can get a little bit more flex side to side as well. It just helps out with everything. So yeah, if they do that, especially for the TRD Pro model, right, the hardcore off-road variant, that'll really help out that package. Just it'll be like the best mid-size truck off-road as long as they give it a good powertrain. So obviously, I said on the confirmed side of things, it's most likely going to have a hybrid powertrain as an option, or maybe across the lineup. Here's what I think is going to happen. So with the new Tundra, we're getting that twin turbo V6 as the powertrain with the 10-speed automatic transmission. It's not 100% confirmed, but it's pretty much confirmed at this point. I don't think the Tacoma is going to get a twin turbo V6, but I think they will share that 10-speed automatic, because Toyota knows that a lot of people have been complaining about how not modern the transmissions feel. Like they are really robust and reliable, but they just feel ancient. And so I think that Toyota's going to answer that by putting the 10-speed in the Tacoma so that it competes with, well, the new Frontier that has a 9-speed, the Ford Ranger that has a 10-speed, the Gladiator has that 8-speed. Like pretty much every single mid-sized truck has a really good transmission, and so Toyota's going to do that 10-speed most likely. From a powertrain perspective, it's kind of up in the air at this point. So yeah, probably I think they'll at least do a hybrid as an option. I think that it'll at least be an optional package you'll be able to get with the Tacoma if it's not standard. But aside from that, it's kind of hard to say at this point. I definitely think that they're, obviously they have that 4-liter V6 in the 4Runner. I think they're completely axing that powertrain. We still have the 3.5, and I'm sure they'll keep that powertrain around for some time. And so maybe what they'll do is they'll just keep the 3.5 because it's still competitive for the mid-sized truck segment, and then just pair it with the 10-speed automatic. I think that is a very viable option. I'm sure they're looking into that. I don't think we're going to get a turbocharged Tacoma, and I don't think we're going to get a Tacoma with any, crazy powertrain, because again, Toyota is just trying to make a good, reliable truck that gets good fuel economy, that is competitive for the segment. So that's pretty much what's going to happen from a powertrain perspective. But yeah, that's everything for, again, the confirmed information, what we know so far, and then obviously the speculation with what I think is going to happen with the truck. Since I spent way too much time going over speculation, let's kind of cap things off with this video pretty quick in terms of going over my thoughts on the truck and should you wait for the new Tacoma. And here's what I'd have to say. So with the Tacoma, if you are thinking about waiting for this one, I definitely think it's going to be worth the wait if they do the coil suspension in the back end, because you guys know I'm a huge fan of that. But aside from that, I don't think that you should necessarily not get a Tacoma also, because they are doing some slight updates for 22, not to most of the lineup, but specifically to the TRD Pro. And I think that new TRD Pro with the extra lift and how they're updating things and everything, I definitely think that is, pretty much worth going for. So I would definitely pick up one of those. But after that, it's probably not going to be worth it. We'll see if they do any other updates. But yeah, the current Tacoma, right, it's a really good truck, and so there's no reason not to buy it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And then on top of that, Toyota's usually pretty conservative with their, even their full redesigns. And so it's not necessarily something that you should just, sit and hold and wait forever. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. And also, Tacomas hold their value very well. So if you do buy a Tacoma right now, it's not like you're going to be losing out on a massive amount of money, because, yeah, they just hold their value so well. Now, my personal thoughts on this new Tacoma, I am extremely excited for this, especially if they change things with the suspension, like I said before, because I'm actually a big fan of mid-sized trucks. Now, I've never personally owned a mid-sized truck. I've pretty much stuck in the half-ton truck segment because nobody makes a mid-sized truck that's cool enough for me, in my opinion. Sorry, mid-sized truck people. I love them, but I also hate them. The reason being is they just don't have enough power and performance for the stuff that I like to do. But if Toyota released a TRD Pro with coil suspension and obviously shocks that are just as advanced, if not more advanced than what you have in the current TRD Pro, that would be a very interesting truck for me to look into, because again, you're getting a truck that'll have a rear locker, really good shocks. They use the Fox shocks right now, which are absolutely amazing, by the way. If you ever have a chance to take a TRD off-road, TRD Pro rather, I definitely recommend it. So yeah, I'm super excited for that with the coil suspension, because again, they're most likely going to carry that over from the Tundra to the Tacoma, and so it would just be an absolute machine. It'd be super comfortable, and then you'd have that small mid-size truck segment, so it'd be able to, or sorry, size, so it'd be able to actually fit into things. Whereas, you know, some of the vehicles I own, like the TRX right now, can't fit into like anything, so I got to like have wide open desert. I still love it, but yeah, I'm definitely all about it. I'm very excited, and you know, we'll see exactly what they do with the Tundra, because they're going to officially announce that soon. Don't worry, I'll be making a video on that as well. And so judging by what they do there with the Tundra will kind of give us an idea of what they're going to do with the Tacoma. And then yeah, overall though, like I said, I'm excited for it, and I don't want to drone on any longer. So yeah, that's going to sum things up for today's video, going over the all new 2024 Toyota Tacoma. Again, the things that we know, the unconfirmed information / speculation, and my overall thoughts. Like I said, I'm excited for it. I'm all about it as long as they do things right. I always say that in my videos, but like, car manufacturers, please listen to us. We kind of know what we're talking about as enthusiasts. But anyways, if you're shopping for the first time, please subscribe, comment down below what you think, and I'll see all of you in the next video.